Sure, I'll try to engage both the Qatar question and the Yemen question. Part of what the United States has done historically when it's done its job well as a leader is save allies from themselves. Right? And this could be in Asia, this could be in Europe, which is to somewhat dispassionately sit back and say, what you're proposing is actually quite stupid and hurts your own interests, and we're going to push against it. And what the dispute between Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar hurts all of them, right? If the goal was to move the Qataris away from the Iranians, it has backfired, right? They are moving closer to the Iranians in some degrees out of necessity, right? And so this is not something that certainly serves US interests, but doesn't serve the interests of the states involved. And part of the traditional US goal was to walk people back from the brink, and I hope we can return to that. I don't think that's a very difficult demand. Yemen is a little harder, right? I remember many years ago, a colleague in government described Saudi Arabia's attitude towards Yemen as similar to the US attitude towards Cuba under Castro, right? Which was it shouldn't matter, but it really just got under our skin, right? It was just really far more important than it deserved to be in a political sense. And in Yemen, a lot of what the Saudi military effort depends on are varying degrees of US logistical and intelligence support. And we do have considerable influence over that. And I always interpreted the US indirect support for that as really, I'll say, an exchange with Saudi Arabia for cooperation in other areas. And that's not a reasonable exchange in some ways. But it's been self-defeating for Saudi Arabia. They are at present, I will say, militarily at the limit of what I think they can accomplish. And it's time for the United States to push them into negotiations there. And do so behind the scenes, right? The Saudis are an ally. We're not trying to embarrass them, but we want to work with them in a way that makes things better for Yemen, but also I think would serve Saudi interests.